Welcome.
Snap, crackle, pop. Let's get into the gist. Lots of news. He's the beer man. I'm Joe Willie. We're coming at you from Speakeasy Studio in Brighton, Michigan. But there's going to be a new location on the horizon.
Yes.
Do you want to break the news?
The Downtown Poorhouse in downtown Plymouth.
An exquisite sports bar atmosphere in downtown Plymouth. I think it's on Freilich.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, it's right behind the post. Yep.
Is Sully Sullivan, is he the publican of that establishment?
The publican?
Yeah, that is a pub operator, a publican.
He likes to pour cold beer. I know that.
Yeah, with a nice frothy head on it.
Nice frothy head. You had one, yes.
Mother's milk. A Guinness Stout. We're putting together the pieces of the puzzle for a remote, on-location broadcast. It'll be brought to you, the GOATQuest audience, by ATS, the CPA firm of choice, Patrick Financial Group, John Pelon, registered investment advisor, and...
You've never even met him. You got all that, and you've never met him.
And Faro Imaging. Don't forget Faro Imaging for all your print needs.
I didn't know that.
Large format.
I didn't know
Specialty
that.
print, yeah.
I didn't know. We'll have to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
I
Livonia, Michigan.
I've got to study up.
We got sponsors, and of course the location sponsor itself, the
Yes.
Downtown Poorhouse.
Yes, and there will be drink specials and food specials, so if you want to show up.
Munchies
We'll
on
let you know.
demand. Yes, so we got big things coming in that regard, but from the news of the day, we're all still kind of reeling in the unbelievable turnaround, reimagination, reset that Kurt Signetti has established with the Indiana Hoosier football program. What was your impression of last night's game?
I thought the game went about exactly as I thought it was going to. I thought that Miami would cover. They did. It was a late cover.
I was shocked by that, by the way, like that you called that because it looked like it was going to go the other direction fast.
And I'm about the worst sports picker in the history of sports pickers. So that alone gets you there. But no, I just thought it was a great game. I thought Miami played a good game. The quarterback did not play good. Threw some timely picks.
Untimely for his team.
Untimely picks.
Timely for Indiana.
Yeah. No, but Miami's defense is for real. They got a bunch of first-round picks. For sure the corners, a couple defensive linemen, the linebackers are good. They're good.
That was the bigger shock for me. The bigger shock for me was that Miami's defense kept them in the game, made some key stops.
Yeah.
They gave Mendoza some headaches.
Yeah, and I would say, you know what, I think I talked about on the last podcast, you know, there's going to be a time where Indiana doesn't have their good shit. They had good shit, but they weren't as hot as they've been the last couple of games.
No, and I think Miami had played a huge role in taking them out of that. I mean, you could see they were in coverages and they were jumping routes in situations where he didn't think they either had the athleticism to jump the route the way they did, or they weren't going to be positioned the way that they were with the disguise and the changes. So hats off to Miami's defensive coordinator. And I know I saw Jason Taylor running around that sideline. Miami's defense, I thought, did a hell of a job keeping them in that game to that degree. I was shocked that
I've seen enough of Michael Irvin for a year.
Right.
It's great, but
methamphetamine Irvin.
Yes, whatever he's on.
Give me some on Sunday morning.
Oh my gosh, just all over the place. But whatever. I mean, it's great that he's enjoying his team and getting people fired up. My gosh,
all those guys, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, and they're bringing all the. For me, and I love that they went with the throwback uniforms, by the way, the old school uniform.
Yeah.
Because for me, the first time that Miami came on the scene, Howard Schnellenberger was the coach, and Bernie Kosar was under center. If you remember that team, because for us being in the Big Ten world, and then of course seeing the Pac-12 or Pac-10 back then, and the SEC, of course, would come up with Alabama, we never saw Miami.
No.
The ACC didn't exist in football back when we were growing up, and when they emerged on the scene, when Bernie Kosar was slinging it and Schnellenberger was patrolling the sideline, it was like a whole new thing had come to football.
Yeah. Well, actually, I played with a couple of those guys. I think I've told you this before, but the best football player I ever played with, one of the best, besides Barry, you got to take Barry out, was Benny Blades.
Amazing athlete.
He could play a middle linebacker. He could play strong safety, free safety. Could play outside linebacker. He played special teams all the time. Made plays. Just an amazing athlete.
Special teams was a big
The blocked punt,
issue.
yeah.
Mikhail Kamara blocks the kick in the second half. Remember, Miami had just cut it to 10-7. The blocked punt gives them a 17-7 lead, so you got a nice cushion. And then, for my money, you were waiting for Mendoza to do something special, and the guy just does not disappoint.
My gosh.
That red zone run, the guts,
Yeah.
the move, the spin, the leap, the mom in the wheelchair in the stands. You want to talk about all the drama coming together at one moment for Mendoza? It's a big time moment.
No, and he's a little nerdy too. I like him. I like him. He's who he is. He says what he wants and makes plays, man.
I like that kid. The rest of the tail of the tape for that game, he only threw for 186 yards. He got the big rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Fletcher for Miami had the big run.
And the big punch.
Yeah, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns for Fletcher. Black and Hemby, Kalon Black and Roman Hemby for Indiana rushed for 139 yards combined.
Yeah, that's when I look at it, it's kind of what
Not big stats.
But it's what we expected. And okay, unless Mendoza would have thrown for another 100 yards, okay, then maybe those maybe were the stats. But it's kind of the game we thought, a defensive battle. That's a couple special teams blunders is kind of what decided the game. At the end,
I love the Fisher kid on defense. I didn't see his stats, but it was definitely a game that set up for the defense to make plays.
Yeah.
Because everybody was holding the cards a little bit close to the vest, right? Other than a couple of the back shoulder throws to Becker.
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody trying to stretch things. I mean, Beck hit his tight end a couple of times.
But not really. Beck, he just was off. He just had a bad game.
And is that again a result of Indiana playing great defense?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it could be a result of both of them playing great defense and him only having 180 yards throwing.
But you had to be nervous if you're an Indiana fan when they kick the field goal and they're only up 6.
Yeah.
And they're giving the ball back to Carson Beck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're thinking, okay, this thing sets up for a 1-point loss all day long.
Yeah.
And he moves the ball a little bit even.
Yeah.
And then throws the pick, of course.
I mean,
it
was a good throw. It was just a little underthrown, but I think it was more about the guy on defense reading it and picking it off.
And they've been doing that all year. Pons and Fisher. I mean, the defense for Indiana has been fantastic all year round. And remember, amongst the Power 4 teams, this was the worst team in the NCAA. Indiana's turnaround.
Oh,
this was the worst football program.
I thought you were talking about before the pick.
In the Power 4, now they're 16-0 and national champions.
Yeah.
I mean, take a double take and then some.
Yeah.
And this is another one that I think is amazing. Think about the juxtaposition in the world of sports. And when I say that, I mean how things have changed so radically and diametrically in a short period of time. Not short maybe for a young kid, but for you and me in our lifetime. Indiana was Bobby Knight, and it was NCAA basketball excellence, right? The undefeated seasons, the great 87 team. They won the Big Ten all the way through the early 90s, right?
Yeah.
Nebraska was never on the basketball framework.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And Tom Osborne had a juggernaut running where they won the national championship or were in the national championship game every other year through that same period 35, 40 years ago. Now, Nebraska's nowhere to be seen on the football landscape.
Is this a benefit of the NIL? I think this is a benefit because there's no way that Indiana would have got that good without the NIL.
I'm just amazed at both things. I'm amazed that Indiana has become a football school.
Because all we do,
and I'm amazed that Nebraska is a basketball school.
But all we do, me and you, is talk shit about the NIL. Say it's fucked up. They shouldn't do this. They've got to change it. It's out of whack.
Stronger guardrails, right? And there's got to be
I agree.
different rules.
I agree. But this is a result of a good thing coming from that, where a team can go from nothing to great with a new coach comes in and brings what would Signetti bring with him? Like
I think 16.
16 players with him?
James Madison players that had won a championship with him in the past.
Yes, 16 JMU players. That's going to make a good Big Ten team.
And it did somehow.
Shit.
And it
I
did.
don't know.
They were showing last night Becker was really the only contributor that he kept. 2 years later.
Out of the 16?
Out of the 22 starters that were on the field last night.
Oh, okay.
Becker, the receiver, was really the only one that was a holdover from the past administration of Indiana football.
Oh, my gosh.
All the rest of those
2
guys.
years. That's in 2 years.
2 year makeover. And that's a guy in Signetti who doesn't have a GM, right? He doesn't have one of these guys who's an operator behind him. He is the operator.
Yeah. Well, he's got to have fundraisers and the people that
he's got Mark Cuban now, but he didn't have him at the very beginning. I think Cuban has kind of come into the fold here in the last year and a half since the ball was already rolling in the right direction, that he proved himself.
Wow.
But you think about this, total dominance. Indiana wins last night, national champions in the CFP era. Last year it was the Ohio State Buckeyes. The year before that it was the Michigan Wolverines. Big Ten dominance across the whole bowl landscape this year. But 3 years in a row to win the championship, and for 3 years in a row for the SEC not to be there, that has got to burn some asses down south.
So, normally it's all about money, right? So you even look at college hockey now, not to get way off base, but everybody that gets drafted wants to go play in the Big Ten because that's where the money is.
It's the only money in NIL
that's where the money
hockey.
Is. Correct. But that's a good point, is that you wait till you see these Big Ten teams down the road.
I love that you took us on this little sojourn, this little side rail.
Oh, I know you're prepared.
Because the University of Michigan is number one in the country in NCAA hockey.
In spending?
No, in the polls. Okay, so right now,
I know.
In college hockey, the University of Michigan sits at number one at 20-4, but it's better than that. Michigan State is number 2, 17-5, and Western Michigan is number 3. 3 Michigan schools atop the NCAA hockey rankings, and even down here at number 19 is Michigan Tech.
Yeah.
So 4 in the top 20, but all 3 of the top 3 schools, Michigan schools, and of course Western Michigan's the defending champion.
Yeah.
Pretty spectacular.
I know that is, and if you think about it, I mean, if you're hockey, you get it, but why not anywhere else? Why not Arizona State? Why do all the hockey players come to Michigan? Hockey town? Is it
hockey
marketing?
Town?
I think it's marketing.
Is
hockey
it
town.
good Mike Ilitch from the grave
I
reaching
don't
up
know.
and keeping that hockey town spirit alive?
But Wisconsin's also in the top 20. Penn
They're
State's
fifth.
What's Penn State?
8th.
Yeah, I mean Jesus.
Minnesota Duluth in there where it's I think 19 below zero today.
And that's not going to change because the NIL. It's not going to change because they're getting money. There's nowhere else they can get money. So anyway.
That's good stuff, though. Getting a little college hockey break in here is important. But again, the Big Ten dominates the bowl scene, just like they're dominating college hockey right now. The SEC, nowhere to be seen on this footprint in championship games and had a poor record in the bowl games themselves. So, when you look out at what the college football landscape looks like, Matt Campbell moves over to Penn State. You expect that Penn State's going to improve. Fitzgerald moves into Michigan State. You expect Michigan State's going to improve.
Did you see his opening speech,
No,
Fitzgerald?
No, did he?
Oh God, go
Fire
watch.
and Brimstone.
Just go watch it on YouTube. It's all dude. It's awesome. As old school as you can get. It's all our fault. It starts today. Literally
Taking ownership.
Taking ownership of everything starts today. It was a great speech.
Kyle Winningham got his Utah's number 1 recruit to flip to Michigan.
Okay.
So Manoa, I think is his name. So they got a big recruit that's leaving his commitment to Utah, coming to the University of Michigan. So yeah, the Big Ten rolls on here.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is going to change, and I think that the SEC's got some systemic issues with either the excuse is we're playing such a tough schedule against each other that we beat each other up so much that we can't position ourselves right.
Well, so does the Big Ten, though.
Or is the SEC such a portal happy environment that so many kids are jumping in and jumping? I mean, this thing that happened to Ole Miss was just a shame.
Yeah, it took the coaches in the middle with games left.
Because I think that a stable team rolling into that playoff, I think Ole Miss beats Miami.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it was still a great game.
It was.
It was a great game, but yeah, it could be. Who knows?
Ifs and buts were cherries and nuts, it'd be Christmas all year round. That's right. So that levers us over into the divisional round of the NFL playoffs and the recap. The 8 were dwindled down to 4. Broncos beat the Bills with many a casualty and many a tear shed in Denver.
Yeah.
Seahawks trounced a dilapidated and diminished 49ers team that really needs its own NIL program to fill its injured reserve. The Patriots successfully defended home field against the Houston Texans defense. And I say defense because the Houston Texans offense did not show up, did nothing but hurt the defense. So really only the defense was playing in that game. And then, of course, the best game as far as competitiveness right down to the wire, the overtime game where the Los Angeles Rams went into Soldier Field and found a way to get it done in OT with a little field goal. I don't think kicks should be able to win an overtime game in the playoffs. I think you should have to actually get across the goal line with the football. Okay. New rule. So the Bears lose at home, and a deep breath was heard in the Dan Campbell household that his protege did not get to the NFC Championship game, which is as far as he has made it thus far.
I know. I've heard those arguments, when they're talking about the Chicago game, they should have went for 2. No, they shouldn't have. You take the field goal, and then you roll the dice. You go for 2 at the end of the game I don't know if it doesn't really matter. I don't know.
If you're in a deeply uncompetitive situation in overtime.
Well, and on top of that,
your quarterback is hurt.
Yeah, on top of that, the coach was saying, we didn't play well in the red zone all day. So now we're going to start playing good when the game's on the line.
We've had 5 short yardage situations that didn't work out, so now I'm supposed to believe that.
I think for me, the surprise in these games this week, the big surprise for me was how well the defenses played. Look at LA's defense, played great. Even though they lost.
Verse is a madman.
Look at New England's defense. Where did these guys come from? Most of them I've never heard of.
Yeah, Ellis and Gonzalez. I mean, they've got some stars.
Yeah.
But a lot of these guys were not first-rate players on wherever they came from.
Yeah.
And Vrabel has found a way to put them together
and get it done. That's coaching, yeah.
Well, I mean, C.J. Stroud put the Texans in terrible situations all day long.
Yeah, maybe he just doesn't like the snow. It was in his eyes all day.
Somebody posted this, and of course you're going to get a lot of this in Michigan, but someone posted the last 8 quarterbacks now from Ohio State University that have ventured forth into the NFL. And none of them have had winning records in the NFL, and all of them have been busts. So is it a thing here where Ohio State produces a certain kind of offensive football player that isn't as sophisticated as what some of the other offenses running? It certainly hasn't hurt Ohio State on the
especially
in the standings or in the national championship category.
It's a tough argument, especially when I talk to my buddies about the NFL. And if they have one issue with Detroit, it's that Jared Goff can't run. Okay? So he's not a running quarterback. Every single one of those quarterbacks from Ohio State was a running, almost. Yeah. Every one was a running quarterback.
They were at least mobile.
Yeah, they were mobile, exactly. They're much more mobile than Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So, and some of them are really mobile. Like, the best thing about them was their running. So, I don't know.
Some of them moved to other positions, like Terrell Pryor, where they actually played another position on the field.
Some guys, the NFL fits. Some guys, it's too fast. And you know it right away. You know it right away. You can tell right away if it's too fast for somebody. And for some quarterbacks, it is.
Well, it certainly looked that way for C.J. Stroud. Turned the ball over.
But he had a good year, Joe. He had a good year, and he made a lot of plays. He had a bad game.
I'm gonna say he had an inconsistent year. He was good enough to get him where he got him, but I think he was inconsistent. And I think with the way that was it Davis Mills, his backup, I think the way that Mills played in his stead and the way that some of these other backup quarterbacks have played, NFL stands for not for long if you can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. Especially when it's a no delaying gratification. What have you done for me lately, world?
Look at Lamar Jackson. It's just.
I heard he's on the trading block.
What?
There is rumors out there that if, depending on what coach comes in, they might use him to reset the Ravens, get all the draft picks, just do a reset on this thing in Baltimore.
Wow.
Because there are some people who think, again, his style of quarterback play does not lead to the longevity and survival of the season with the injuries.
It's a tough one.
And winning football games.
Just say this to
in
yourself.
The playoffs.
Just say this to yourself right now. Would you rather had Jared Goff or Lamar Jackson?
It's a tough one. It shouldn't be a tough one, but it is a tough one when you look at it statistically.
It's a tough one. But God,
you would think the MVP, Lamar Jackson, that would be a no-brainer.
I know.
But the fragility of a player
running quarterback
has to be taken into account.
It does. And he's getting older.
Josh Allen is the big storyline, though.
Yeah.
Because depending on who you talk to, did he get his coach fired? He turned the ball over in inopportune moments. He owned it. He tear-filled eyes. He walked to the microphone. So kudos to him for stepping up, taking it on the chin, and owning the issue. He blamed himself. His offensive line, Deion Dawkins, and other members of the Bills said that's not the case. We wouldn't have been here without Josh Allen, blah, blah, blah. But there's a mobile quarterback, to your point, who makes timely throws when he needs to, who's very good in the clutch, but is simply taking too many risks in big games.
Well, he has to. He has to. Look at how many times he got hurt the game before. Do I think that he was talked to about McDermott before it was released? Oh, yeah. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy's making $150 million over whatever it is. Do I think he made the decision? I wouldn't think so, but he had to have something to do with it. Something had to happen there.
Well, and this is good because we're going to end up segueing right into the coaching carousel here. So if I'm Pagula, the owner of the Buffalo Bills, and I'm sitting down with Bean, who he made his new president, and we already know that there's been rubs during the season, right? There was some friction around the Keon Coleman suspension and what was happening with the discipline of Keon Coleman. Milano was injured for a big part of the season. Defensive leadership, who's stepping up to lead this defense? Brady being a sought-after offensive coordinator, Joe Brady. And then the big one that you mentioned more recently, which was the release of Darius Slay.
Oh, Darius Slay.
Right? Yeah. So if all of this has transpired and there's a tumultuous kind of back office thing going on, you said you heard something in particular that he said about the Slay release.
Yeah, it was on YouTube. I looked it up, and it was 3-4 weeks ago they cut Darius Slay with 3 games left in the season, and obviously their defense has been bad.
Yeah,
milquetoast
at best.
Yeah, and they were interviewing McDermott, and McDermott said, "I don't answer Darius Slay questions. You have to go talk to Bean."
So the rub had begun between him and his.
That's the way I took it, because normally a head coach will just eat that up and say, "Hey, I coach.
Moving on.
I coach the team. They pick the players. They cut the players. That's it." That's not what he said. Right. He goes, "I'm not talking about Darius Slay. You should go talk to Bean."
He specifically drew attention.
Correct.
To
correct, and
else.
that's rare. That's rare. And who knows? It's such a. Used to be, players play, coaches coach, player personnel pick the people, general managers make the decisions on draft day. Who knows now? Like John Harbaugh even said when he was going to get his job, I want $20 million a year, I want complete control, I want draft control, or I'm not coming. I guess you can do that now, but
And yeah, to hit on the points with a little more detail that Tom is bringing up. If you didn't know this, John Harbaugh out as the Baltimore Ravens coach, in as the New York Giants coach, 5 years, $100 million. That's $20 million a year. Last time I checked,
Yes.
With a lot of control factors in his favor.
Yeah.
Jackson Dart, Cam Scadaboo, got a young team. Malik Neighbors should be back. Got a lot of tools. Giants
Yep.
didn't play poorly.
No, they did win
were
some
competitive.
games. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But back to the Bills, McDermott out after the game. This is a guy who had 8 winning seasons, 5 divisional championships. He's got a great quarterback. He's made it deep into the playoffs, or deeper than some in the playoffs. Did you see this coming? Did you think that this was a possibility?
No. Who would have? But it's a business, when you're.
So I'm Pagula. I'm the owner.
Uh-huh.
That game ends.
Uh-huh.
I'm sitting down. We know that there's been some friction. The year didn't go as planned. This was the year that Mahomes was out and Burrow was out and Jackson was out. So this is the year that Josh Allen had the runway, right? They didn't get the home field that they wanted, but they got the runway. They got the chance. They were in the game to win it, right? It was a competitive game right down to the end. They didn't find a way to win it. They decide to broom the coach. In my mind, the only way that conversation transpires is if they already know that Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator, is the guy that they want to go to, because this is the Ben Johnson thinking now. More teams are going to start looking at what happened to Detroit. They lose Ben Johnson. He immediately goes and presents a better product on the field with worse talent. Okay.
Yeah.
No matter how Dan Campbell or anybody else in the Lions organization wants to slice this, Ben Johnson left your staff, took over a less talented team by all accounts. Less Pro Bowlers, all the statistical evidence, right? Took over a less talented team and took that less talented team further and won the league championship with them, the division championship.
I think
that hurts, and other teams are looking at that. So if I'm the Bills and I'm thinking Joe Brady is the straw that stirs the drink here, I don't want to end up like the Lions.
And it could, there's a billion ways to get fired. It could be that he had, and this happens, he had a drunk night and placed some calls late at night. And it happened. I'm telling you.
I know it does.
This shit
Or
happens.
you jump on a motorcycle and crash with some co-ed like Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, just do some stupid shit. Or he loses
you're
it.
in the middle of an affair with a...
And he tells the owner to fuck off. I was supposed to make that. I was supposed to make that decision on personnel. You told me I could make that decision on personnel, and Bean got rid of him.
So you're portraying this
I'm
as...
just saying.
No, I like this. Let's go with this. Heat of the moment, after the game.
Yep.
The emotions are running hot, and he said something that crossed the line.
Yes. And that's so easy to do. And you got a billionaire owner that doesn't give a shit about McDermott. So... If you pissed him off or embarrassed him in front of all of his friends that were at the game or his whole team or all the coaching staff, you can get fired for that. It happens all the time in business.
Yeah.
Where people...
It's interesting. You knew he was chapped.
They go to their Christmas party.
You know that Sean McDermott was chapped because he was chapped about the call, about the Cooks, the rollover call. Was it a catch or was it not a catch? I
thought that was an interception.
I thought it was whatever the referees called. It was so close that it was one of those ones where I was like,
either way. Could be
where I
either
was
way.
like, whatever that was called on the field is what it's got to stand.
Yeah.
Because he was close. The ref was closer to it than any of us were.
Yeah.
And it was. There's a detriment to slowing something down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like everybody.
It was nice we didn't have replay,
right?
Because there was never an argument, right?
Everybody always says, "Well, slow mo has been the that makes it." So perfectly knowable to be able to see it. Well, not so much. In these bang bang plays, when they slow it down frame by frame, and you can see, his knee hit, and then he rolled over. So does that constitute possession?
Yeah, that screws me. That screws me up sometimes with the knee hits when they're going in the end zone and the ball crosses.
And what is a football move and what is completing the catch? Yeah. Like, if you watch that full speed, I'm almost positive you think that's a pick.
Yes.
Right? Full speed, laid out, the way that they hit the ground and came loose, it feels like it was a pick.
I would agree.
In slow motion, though,
He catches it, and his ass hits the ground.
Yeah, I was
so
like,
he's down. It's in his hands,
Right,
and his ass hits the ground.
but at what point is he completing the catch? It's I usually am very opinionated about these things. You know that. Usually I come in here and I'm saying, screw you. I saw it this way. That one is the one. It is the closest call in a controversial situation, and I have to go with whatever the ref saw on the field.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
I agree. I thought it was a pick.
But the fact that McDermott was so adamant in the post-game press conferences, and I do agree with him, they should have taken it to New York and taken a second look at it. They shouldn't have let that be decided on the field. The replay should have taken a full view of it and then come back and said, yeah, he didn't complete the catch. It was stripped before he completed the catch.
Yeah.
All right. And then I could have bought it. Seahawks dominated the 49ers. McDonald's done an amazing job there. And when we look at this coaching carousel, how do we find more McDonald's? Right? Mike McDonald, very quietly, in an unassuming fashion, replaces Pete Carroll with not a ton of talent in Seattle. He does a real quick rebuild in a year, and this year they're the best team in football.
I know that the head coach gets all the accolades.
Here we go. This is where Tom
it's just
waylays the coaching profession.
No, I'm just saying last year, the players that they picked and the player personnel and the scouts that they have, it's not just the head coach. Look at Ben Johnson. It's not just the head coach. It's players playing well. Now, is it because of him that the players played better? Because he was very specific with his quarterback and he kept it easy or whatever, or he's got a great way of dealing with wide receivers? Maybe. Some guys do.
He's a great coach. I mean, he has found, he's young. He's found, I mean, they have a dynamic offense. They manage the clock well.
Joe, you know, all these coaches, they run the same shit.
In some cases, they do.
They really do.
But he's a defensive coach, and you watch his defense play and they are swarming.
They are.
He comes from the John Harbaugh tree, so he's out of the Ravens tree. He was a Mark Richt assistant at Georgia, right?
Yeah.
If we play back, right, our coach, Brian Van Gorder, was defense coordinator at Georgia, won the Frank Broyles Award as coordinator of the year for that team. A couple years after, Robert Saleh, who just got the Tennessee Titans job, newsflash today. Robert Saleh from Dearborn-Fordson, Dearborn, Michigan. Michigan State he coached. CMU he coached for Brian Kelly. He didn't like coaching for Kelly very much.
Was that right?
A whole nother little side trap there.
Okay.
But Saleh's going to be at Tennessee. So this little coaching tree now, Harbaugh, he came to the University of Michigan in 2021 where Mike McDonald was the defensive coordinator. Then he went back to Harbaugh at the Ravens. And now he's sitting in Seattle. They're the number one seed. They just skull crunched the 49ers, a depleted 49ers team with a lot of injuries. Do you see anybody standing up? I mean,
No, I don't see anyone beating Seattle and New England. I think Denver's done. You know, they've got this new kid, this Jerb Stiddy.
Stidham, by the way, who was a New England quarterback. He was a New England backup.
He was a fourth-round pick, right?
Yeah.
New England, and he played it off.
Lands in Denver. What a road, though, that New England gets to go to the Super Bowl on. The Chargers, the Texans, and the Broncos with no quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about the easiest road in the history of the National Football League playoffs.
And they had home games. Yeah. So... I think it's going to be New England and Seattle.
And by the way, New England had the easiest regular season schedule.
Oh.
Statistically. So the easiest regular season schedule and now the easiest playoff run I've ever seen.
You know, I just think it's that quarterback they've got too. That's a game changer. He's really good.
Drake May is doing
really, really good.
Is doing great things.
I always talk about draft picks. Your draft picks have to start. Okay? That running back they got
contribute.
And contribute. They have to for you to be good. Just because you lose some, look at the Lions. We're going to lose some people in free agency.
Sure,
it's coming. We're going to lose.
But I think we'll pick some up too.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think we're going to stop being aggressive.
That's my point, though.
They got plenty of money.
Your draft picks have to play.
Yeah,
you know.
So Stidham is the big move with Bo Nix breaking his ankle during the game. The fact that he did the post game press conference.
In the last minute.
Yeah, nobody even knew that he had the broken ankle until Sean Payton walked to the microphone and gave everybody the bad news. So the other one is Charbonnet. So now the good news for
Peace out.
Seattle is that they got Kenneth Walker, and he's Michigan State grad who has looked fantastic in the playoffs. So Seattle looks like they're going to be able to rely on Walker. We'll see if Charbonnet makes a big difference. And then we got the rest of these things that we got to fill out. So let's look at coaches on this carousel that have been hired. We mentioned John Harbaugh for the Giants.
Yeah.
We mentioned Robert Saleh being hired today by Tennessee.
Yeah.
Stefanski, who was fired by the Browns, goes to
The Falcons. I don't know. I mean,
I think they got a lot of athletes. I think Stefanski upgraded himself. I think he fired his way up the ladder
I think so.
with Bijan Robinson running the rock and a Stefanski-minded defense.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the defense he had in Cleveland too.
He had a great defense.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
I
got
think,
more tools on offense with
no question, no question. He's got more tools on offense. We'll see. It's like I said.
The question will be, does Penix Jr. make a nice sophomore leap, right? Does he step up and have a big season at quarterback for Atlanta?
Yeah.
Because we know what Bijan Robinson is going to give you. He's
Yes.
outstanding.
Yeah, he's special.
And they've got some strong receivers there too.
Yeah,
They've got
they
a nice
do.
core.
They do have a core. Yeah, he should do much better. And the defense wasn't horrible. I can't remember their rankings, but
Did
yeah.
you see Miami hiring Jeff Hafley?
no.
I didn't either. So Hafley is the Packers defensive
Do
coordinator.
you remember that Ben Johnson? They wanted him fired when he first came over. Do you remember that?
I don't.
In 2022 or 2000, whatever it was when he first came over. Actually, Campbell pulled the plays from him. Campbell was the offensive coordinator for a little bit, for a couple games. Pulled the plays from Ben Johnson.
Well, speaking of that,
I'm just saying.
speaking of pulling the plays and Dan Campbell, another coaching move that just happened was Drew Petzing, the offensive coordinator who lost his job, we think, at the same time that Jonathan Gannon did in Arizona, the Arizona Cardinals head coach that was let go. His offensive coordinator gets hired by the Lions.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Drew Petzing's offense in Arizona was 19th or 20th.
Yeah.
20 yards behind the Lions in passing, 27 yards behind the Lions in rushing.
I mean, I think stats of your team that you were on last year help, but Campbell must have had experience with him in some way. Somebody there.
He's a good D2 boy from Middlebury College, but I mean, when I look down the list, it's not inspiring. I got to tell you, okay? So, 10 years ago, he was a Minnesota Vikings offensive assistant for a year, wide receivers coach, quarterbacks coach. So he had a lot of time with the Vikings recently, up to 2019. Then he was the Browns tight ends coach and quarterbacks coach in 2021, 22. Browns not known for spectacular offense in my recent lifetime. And then Arizona. Now, Arizona's had some good players. They've had, Murray and Fitzgerald from years past, and of course, Connor and some of these other guys have been contributors.
Maybe the new move is younger guys that just have the energy or have a different way of looking at the game than the older guys do. There's a lot of times too where a coach will see something in someone when they're a offensive coordinator or tight ends coach like Dan Campbell was in Miami, and then he got made the head coach, right? Maybe he saw something in some guys there that he really liked, like work ethic.
So let's talk about this. Dan Campbell came from the Sean Payton tree.
Yeah.
Sean Payton
Yeah.
as his team
Mm-hmm.
in the AFC Championship game, the Broncos. He came out of the Miami of Ohio tree to start with, coaching in college. And if you want to go all the way back as a historian, the Miami of Ohio coaching tree, if you don't know about this in MAC football, Sid Gilman, Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler, Bill Mallory, Ara Parsegian from Notre Dame. But then when Sean Payton comes to the pros, he kind of adopts and falls under the Bill Parcells tree, that John Gruden and Bill Parcells, and that's where Sean Payton comes out of. Now, the guys who are Sean Payton devoted are Dan Campbell, Dennis Allen, the Bears defensive coordinator, the Ben Johnson, but Aaron Glenn, who saved his job with the Jets somehow, and Joe Brady. who is now looking like he's going to
Gonna
be
be
a head coach somewhere. I think the Bills are probably circling the wagons on him. But when we look at these vacancies, Buffalo Bills, Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin out after all these years, same as Harbaugh. They were the two longest serving head coaches. Cleveland Browns with Stefanski leaving and getting the job in Atlanta. The Ravens themselves, okay?
Yeah.
The Raiders, Pete
Yep.
Carroll out. The Cardinals, who we just mentioned with the Lions picking up their offensive coordinator, John Gannon is out. The Tennessee Titans make their move for Robert Saleh because Brian Callahan's out. So when
I think there's like 30 different reasons head coaches get hired, right? They're from a certain tree or a certain type of coach, right? I coached under Bill Parcells. Then there's their team got hot at the right time and they had a great season, right? They didn't get injured and they had great stats and they're the number 2 team number 2 defense in the NFL. That's who I want for my head coach, or the number 1 offense. There's a billion different reasons.
or you played against them.
Yeah.
And you know what they delivered because you
Yeah.
had to scout against them. You had to play.
They know.
Like for me, like it's a losing team, right? But Brian Flores, if you watch the Vikings play defense,
Yeah.
you know that he's keeping them in football games.
Yeah.
With all the injuries and the
Yeah.
underperformance of J.J. McCarthy, you watch Brian Flores and that Vikings defense flying around the field, you know that he's got head coaching potential.
Yeah.
Who else on that list? I mean, I keep seeing Clint Kubiak, who's McDonald's offensive coordinator in Seattle, obviously with
Mike McDaniel's still out there. I don't know what he's doing. He came in here and interviewed, and we didn't even hire. I don't even know.
he's got great fashion sense.
Yeah, I know. The Giants ex head coach, Brian DeBall.
Oh, Daboll.
Daboll.
He's out there.
Right. He's out there.
We mentioned Joe Brady. Mike LaFleur is the Rams offensive coordinator.
Mike Nagy.
So he comes from
out
the
there, too.
McVay tree.
Yeah. Mike McCarthy. They still say he's out there. He's only 62. He's probably got another 10 years.
Vance Joseph is out. He's the defensive coordinator for the Broncos. He's
Yeah.
had a cup of coffee at the higher levels.
Steve Spagnuolo.
You think Spags, you think he's actually going to throw his hat in there for one of these jobs? Or is he just coordinator for life now?
I don't know. God, they make so much money now. So, there's a number of things when you're a head coach that you look at, right? You'd like to make more money, etc. You'd like to be the boss. You don't want to have people tell you what to do. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe he just wants to be a defensive coordinator. I don't know.
The last name is a former Michigan man named Jesse Minter. He's the defensive coordinator for the Chargers under Harbaugh. His name's getting mentioned a lot for interviews. But this is what I'm saying. Like, that's not a ton of names we just threw out there. That wasn't a laundry list.
Yeah.
So who do the Bills think they're going to get if they're not getting Joe Brady, making a firing this late? Like, most of these guys are in the process of having a conversation.
That's why it kind of seems to me like it was a spur of the moment. Something came up that he did that would get him fired quickly. I don't know.
When I look at these coaching trees,
I mean, there's no way they were thinking of firing him before that last game.
no.
It had to be something that happened.
And
right?
the assumption was they were going to find a way to win that game, right?
Yeah.
So, but I agree with you. There is evidence to suggest that something happened that we don't know about behind the scenes there.
I would think so.
Or this Joe Brady thing just came to a head.
Yeah.
And they came to the very quick realization that he's the future. And that's where I'm going with this coaching tree. Obviously, Joe Brady comes off of the Peyton tree with McDermott. Mike Tomlin comes out of the Tony Dungy tree, which is really the Dennis Green tree, which is really the Bill Walsh tree.
Yeah, where's Tomlin going to go?
Interesting question.
That where kind of wherever he wants.
I thought Atlanta was going to be perfect for him. Atlanta has the talent, and
they do.
You can win that division. The NFC South is a division you can win without being great.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
So I mean, I would want to be coaching in that division.
Yeah. Who's going to go to Miami?
I mean, when I look at when you just look at Dungy, right? Dungy's our lifetime, right? He's from Jackson, Michigan. He played basketball at St. Cecilia. I mean, that Mike or Tony Dungy spawned Mike Tomlin, Lovie Smith, Jim Caldwell, Herman Edwards, Frank Reich, Leslie Frazier, Rod Marinelli. Those are all head coaches
Yeah.
of one guy's staff.
Yeah.
You know, you start thinking about, like, you don't want to let the next Mike Tomlin get away. You don't want to let the next Ben Johnson get away. So is that Clint Kubiak? Is Seattle's offensive coordinator the guy you don't want to let get away? Somebody asked us off the air, do you think that Dan Campbell could be in trouble? And I mentioned to you, I think that what Dan Campbell has done for Sheila Hamp and the Ford family in rejuvenating this franchise, ticket prices, the buzz around the Lions will last for quite a long time. Like, I think he's bulletproof for a couple of years.
I think so, but look at McDermott. You know, who would have ever thought that? Not me. In the NFL, that you got to win. It's just about winning. It just is, or you've got to go find another job.
So my own. I'm going to leave you with a last fit here that might be we'll call it a Hail Mary. I think that there's still a chance that John Gruden lands one of these jobs.
I don't think
He's
so.
kind of fallen off the radar, but I still think that billionaires are billionaires, which means some of these guys, if they get a wild hair up their ass and they just decide, I don't care, this is a new world order,
Yeah.
right? Trump is president. Anything goes from a politically correct standpoint. I don't care if John Gruden had problems with a politically correct or incorrect statement. I'm hiring the guy who I want to hire. I think that we live in a world now where you have to expect the unexpected.
Yeah. Obviously. I mean, look at the chaos that's going on.
You think he burned too many bridges?
I think he
even with Warren Sapp and all those guys coming to his defense that he's not a racist.
Well, you can't be a racist in coaching. I mean, you can, but it's very tough.
It would be hard to believe.
It's hard to believe. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get another shot. I think he's a little too old. He's really not, though. What is he, 60, 62 or something? I don't know.
But it'd be hard for you to believe John Gruden steps in to any of these roles.
I can't see it.
You think it's a young man's game now with all these guys like McDonald and Ben Johnson?
Look at them all. They're all going young.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
And if Buffalo makes this kid head coach,
Vrabel's no young man. I mean,
he's not old though. He's in his 40s.
Mike Vrabel's in his 50s.
No, he's not.
Yes.
No,
I'm telling you right now, we're actually going to do a search on this one.
I don't think he is.
We're going to do a live
I think he's 40.
search.
47. He's younger than you.
We're going to find out right now. 50.
Oh, he just turned.
Going to be 51 in August.
Just turned.
Going to be 51 in August here in 7 months. Wow. So, yeah, we're both right. We landed right on the middle.
Yeah.
So we do have one more area we wanted to cover today before we get into the GOAT list. Because remember, we've already talked about the lists. I'm going to tease this out to you right now. Best uniforms in the history of sports. You got that on your GOAT list?
I do.
Okay.
Is that what we're talking about?
We're not getting there yet. First, we're talking about Big Ten basketball. We teased this out with Nebraska being undefeated. Nebraska is now a basketball school. So just to be sure that the universe is inside out and upside down, and we are living in the upside down, Indiana Hoosiers are the national champions in football, and the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who failed to field a football team now, are the undefeated basketball team leading the Big Ten. Yeah. In a strange turn of events.
Yeah, and getting no respect. They're undefeated and they're number 7.
Yeah,
and they beat Michigan and they're behind Michigan.
That's right. That's right.
Know?
And if you're kind of, now we've turned the page to the new year. We've got March Madness in our sights. It's like 8 weeks away. The Big 12 has 2 front runners, with Arizona still sitting atop number 1 and undefeated, and then Iowa State at 17-2. Those are 2 great basketball teams. But beyond that, the Big 10 is really, again, rolling up its sleeves. Of course, Duke is having a good year and Clemson's having a good year. But the SEC's got Alabama and Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's the shock at 16-1. UConn has a 1 loss, so UConn is right there. Pitino's got St. John's playing well. But let's run down the Big Ten now. We mentioned Nebraska, Purdue.
Yeah, Indiana,
Purdue, Wisconsin.
Michigan State, Wisconsin.
Michigan's got 1 loss. Michigan State's got 2 losses. I mean, you start going down this list, and would it shock you to see 3 of the Final 4 being Big Ten teams, depending on how they spread out in the regionals?
Look how good Michigan got in this last year and the players that they picked up. It's just going to make these Big Ten teams and the larger schools so much better than everybody else, this NIL shit.
Dusty May's a hell of a coach.
I know he is.
I mean, we looked at Trey McKinney from Orchard Lake St. Mary's was Mr. Basketball. He can barely get on the floor now. He's down to like 15, 16 minutes. And he's a hell of a player.
They got 8, 9 guys that are all going to be in the NBA. No
and they can run 5 off the bench that look just like the 5 that came off.
Exactly.
That's Michigan basketball.
And
right
they're playing and they're playing defense and exactly.
16-1.
Yeah.
Michigan State can beat anybody.
And I think 15 of the 16 wins were by over 30.
Michigan State
there's something stupid.
It
like
is,
that.
yeah. But Michigan's got a ridiculous number of blowouts, 20+ wins. Michigan State is 16-2. Their 2 losses are to Nebraska at Nebraska, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska hasn't lost to anybody. And Duke, who's only lost 1 game.
Yeah.
Right. So there's Michigan State's losses. Purdue is 17-1. Illinois is 15-3. We didn't even mention Illinois yet.
Yeah.
They're 15-3. Wisconsin beat Michigan at Michigan. They've got, they're 13-5 or wherever they're sitting right now, right on the doorstep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Big Ten has rolled up their sleeves and put on a show in the first half of this basketball season. When I look at the others, the big story for me, I mean, it blows my mind that people keep hiring Rick Pitino and then he keeps winning.
Yeah,
no matter what ridiculous thing he does next with his assistant's wife and with where he's going to take the next girl into the next closet, but he keeps getting hired. And then Vanderbilt in the SEC with a 16-1 record, much like their football program, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Got to be NIL.
NIL, and Nashville's got plenty of money.
Yeah.
So Vanderbilt, I think, has benefited on both sides. Clark Lee, the football coach, and now what they've been able to do with the basketball team.
So is there, because we know that money's going to win most of the time, is there any guardrails as to how much money they can raise in NIL?
I don't know.
I don't think there is.
I don't think there is.
So you just,
we know that the school can only give $20.1 million or something like that. It's a weird number. The school can only dedicate, I think it's $20.1 or $20.2 million. But if it's a traditional name, image, and likeness deal, and it's fabricated by Larry Ellison at Oracle,
there's no limit.
No, anything that can be justified under fair market value. Well, what's fair market value for an ad campaign? It could be $100 million.
Yeah. My gosh.
I mean, what do people spend on a Super Bowl ad? What if they throw one of these kids in a Super Bowl ad? They got to pay them fair market value. That's $5 million.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's great for them.
It's amazing for them.
It's
life-changing. We have brought this up. For those of you who don't realize, for football, you've seen a lot of these numbers published. For basketball, they don't get published as often. Many of these basketball players that are staying and petitioning for a 5th or a 6th year are making more money in college than they ever will combined in their NBA career.
I think there's
because they're going to end up in the G League.
I think there's 2 or 3 guys from Michigan that are making $5 million
on
the basketball team.
So there you go. They are not going to make that kind of money.
No.
In the NBA.
No.
The NBA, the bench is short. You make a hell of a lot of money if you make the team, but there aren't very many people on the team.
And that rule that if
you end up in the G League,
you're in the G League, you can leave the G League and come back to the Big Ten.
Yeah,
that's great. What?
You cannot count, right? If we could sit here all day talking about the great Big Ten basketball players that have never seen significant time on an NBA floor. Mateen Cleaves probably being right?
Yeah.
Captain of a national championship team
Yeah.
that barely saw the field.
Oh, there's so many guys in the NFL. I mean, from college too. There's so many guys that never play in the NFL. It's almost like a different sport a little bit. It's the same sport. It's just so much faster and so much more aggressive. It's just some people's brains don't adjust to it.
Well, and you've said this to me many times before. When you got there and you saw the speed, you had to take a minute and go, okay, this is actually a different game altogether.
Yeah. I felt like I was running for my life. If you had a bear chasing you, that's what I felt like when I played. I was running for my life.
Nice. So we promised that we would dedicate significant time to these GOAT lists. This may seem like a trivial matter, but for those of us who are hardcore sports fans, I want to know, because I know you brought a list, what is the tuxedo of sports? And let's run through the majors.
Okay.
Okay. We'll start.
Let me get my list.
We'll start with what we think is one of the greatest sports in the world, but it probably falls at the bottom of the major sports from a popularity standpoint. What is the hockey sweater that you appreciate most? We're talking GOAT uniforms, all-time greatest uniforms, sports history.
Hockey?
Hockey.
I don't know if I had hockey. Let me look.
Well, I'm asking your opinion now, you son of a bitch.
I'd say the Red Wings.
I like the Red Wings.
I love the Red Wings.
But if you played that game with the spinny things and the blue one is the one that I like, that I think is the tuxedo, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay.
The Maple Leaf.
That does it for you, the white and blue?
I believe that bright blue and the white of the Toronto Maple Leafs is my favorite uniform in sports. Sean Belizean is, if he's listening, he's trying to crawl through the microphone to plead the case of the Montreal Canadiens, the Habitants.
Yeah.
Because that sweater is it's the banner.
And I love the LA Kings too. It's kind of close.
I like the LA Kings.
Yeah.
It's meat and potatoes.
It's
just that black and
black
silver.
And silver, yeah.
I think my wife, which is much more colorful, so many women might go this route. My wife loves the Chicago Blackhawks with that proud Native American brave on the cover of it with the crossed what are those, tomahawks? I think that's a big time play. Newer, you like any of the new uniforms?
Actually, I lost my piece of paper, but one of the rankings was the Tampa Bay Lightning.
They did keep it pretty.
Yeah.
They kept it fairly meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
There's some that I hate. I do like
the Florida Panthers. I don't like those. They're okay.
I don't like I like the Nashville Predators, but I don't like their jerseys. I don't like the yellow.
Yeah. And isn't there purple on there too or something? I don't know.
I do kind of like what the Mammoth have done. So that's one that this new team out in Utah.
Yeah.
I like what they did with their uniform. But there's one I hate the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would ever do that to somebody, make them wear those colors.
No.
So I like your Red Wings. I'm going to go with the Maple Leafs.
Okay.
Next sport up the rung on the ladder, Major League Baseball.
Well, you got to go with the Pinstripes.
Why?
Because they're the number one. That's it. I mean, can you imagine? You telling me that you wouldn't love to put on the Pinstripes?
I hate it so much.
Really?
My hatred, my blood boils when I hear people say the Pinstripes of the New York Yankees.
You know what I love, and they say this too, that they have literally
Pinstripes make you look fat, Tom.
Well, so what? If you're fat,
Those
you're
fat
if
make
you're
you,
fat, you're
those
fat.
fats make you look stripes.
But they have not hardly changed it at all since 1915. They never, everybody.
And neither have the Detroit Tigers, which is a tuxedo with the old
true.
English D.
Yeah.
And the piping around the outlines of you got to love the Detroit Tigers. Now, I'm not a big fan of the road uniforms with the orange.
No?
I don't love our road uniforms. I never have.
No.
But that home white is spectacular.
The number, I'd say they're probably the number 3 is the San Diego Chargers, and that blue just looks awesome.
The San Diego Chargers are great. Going back to Dan
the powder
Fouts.
Blue, Dan Fouts.
Coryell, the West Coast, Air
tight
Coryell.
God, God, the tight end. Shit.
Kellen Winslow.
I used to play golf with I played golf one time with Kellen Winslow in Redford.
I like how you edited yourself. You're like, I used to play. No, I guess it was just the one time.
Yeah, just one time. Yeah, it wasn't multiple. It wasn't multiple.
I love the Chargers. That's a great call. And throwing back to the coaching tree, Coryell was Joe Gibbs' coaching tree. Joe Gibbs, in my opinion, the greatest coach of all time, only one to win 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Okay. Tying that in, I like that.
Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, so now you're jumping right to football.
I'm jumping around a little bit because I don't have top 10s for each sport.
You're jumping right to football. All right. So you're jumping past basketball. I know basketball, the uniform has never been as big a thing because it's the guy's build that jumps out at you in basketball.
But I always liked the Lakers uniform too. Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and watching them, it was iconic. You know, them and the Celtics too. I used to love their green.
I was going to say, you can't mention the Lakers unless you also mention the Celtics.
Yeah, and maybe that's just what we were brought up on. Because back then, those were the only games we saw. NBA wasn't on TV all the time.
I was a big fan, and maybe it was just as a kid. I think if I put my adult eyes on it, maybe it would be tacky.
You have adult eyes?
Yes, I do now. Aging, adult glaucoma is what it's called clinically. But the one I really liked as a kid was the Denver Nuggets. It was almost like a Pac-Man symbol with the Denver skyline, the sunset of Denver. But you remember that? When they had Alex English and Kiki Vandeweghe?
You know, I wasn't going to bring this up. You're getting really excited, and your hair is shaking. And I was going to ask you, is there a plan for the hair?
The fashion statement that I make with this voluptuous head of hair, right?
Yeah.
There's some pageantry with the flow that I'm cultivating.
Pageantry with the flow you're cultivating.
Yes.
I don't even know those words go.
Could you give a definition for any of those words?
No, I'm good. No.
That's how I like to keep. I like to keep my
Just
linguistics.
Keep it above 8th grade level.
Exactly.
If it's
keep
above
it
8th grade level, I have
level.
no fucking idea
what you're talking
about.
You just hear me mumbling. I'm like Charlie Brown's teacher over here. Wah, wah, wah. No, that for me, the flow, of Kiki Vandeweghe and that Denver Nuggets team.
Yeah.
Well, you remember the game when the Denver Nuggets and the Pistons went into triple overtime, scored 178. It was 179 to 178. It's the highest scoring game NBA history. Tripucka went for like 50, and Isaiah Thomas went for 50.
You got a Tripucka do going.
See?
I
brought it back.
That brought it back. Tripucka.
I am. What do you call it when you're bringing someone when you're.
I don't know the word.
Damn it. So one of our audience members has kind of helped me with this. But I am embodying, in some way, shape, or form here, a little Kelly Tripucka flow.
Tripucka. Okay.
Which brings me to one of my favorite tuxedo uniforms where Kelly Tripucka went to school, Notre Dame.
Oh.
The Golden Dome.
That is iconic.
Of Notre Dame. That Notre Dame USC.
No name on the back. I love it. I love it with no name on the back.
Meat and potatoes, same as Joe Pa's Nittany Lions with the way Penn State used to bring that football uniform out on the field.
I am right. Notre Dame, there's no name on the back. No.
They may have done it in years.
I don't think they have.
But I don't think they've done it recently.
I don't think so. Yeah.
So I know we branched. We went college. We went pro. If I had to put one professional football uniform up over all others, it would be the black and gold of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Really?
Seeing the black and gold of the Pittsburgh Steelers was for me, and the Raiders is a close second, was for me the most intimidating. I want a football uniform to be intimidating. The Chargers is a great looking uniform, but it's not intimidating. The Lions is a great looking uniform. It's not intimidating.
You don't think it's more the players
just
wearing the uniform that were badasses that won the Super Bowls?
Won all those Super Bowls. Both the Raiders and the Steelers have that lineage.
You got back when you could keep a team together for 6, 7, 8 years. Now it's so hard. It's so hard. The Lions are going to lose so many people. We're going to lose some good players that we don't want to. We don't have the money.
But we're going to be able to replace them because with them, money goes away. We got to keep Laporta healthy for a whole season.
Yeah.
To make that work.
But the cheap money goes away. When you got to get somebody in free agency, that's the expensive money.
Yeah, we got to do better in the draft.
We got to do better. You got to have good draft picks. That's it. If you don't, you're done.
So Honolulu blue and silver, where does it rank on your list?
It's there. It's top 5, and I think it's top 5 in the NFL, but it's not. It's not the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not the Dallas Cowboys.
I love the Phoenix Suns. I'm going to go back to basketball. I do like the purple and the orange
I don't like
of the
that
Phoenix
purple.
Suns. I loved that Dan Marley, Charles Barkley team.
You always say, you know what you love. You love the players, and when you have great players, that makes the team. The team, like for instance, when we were in college, we always played Grand Valley. I loved their unis.
You loved Grand Valley's uniforms.
I did.
You secret side team loving son of a bitch.
No, I didn't like Ferris that much, and they're even better. But
you got a side team.
I liked Valley's uniforms. I would have liked to wear the blue, but I wouldn't have done it.
Oh,
I wore the green and gold.
We got to call Wooster. He's going to send you. Wooster will send you. Scott's the head coach, former Wayne State Warrior, Tartar Warrior, coach for Grand Valley State. And then we get a Bulldogs jersey for you too from Steve Brocklebank at Ferris State.
He is the AD at Ferris State.
Our former offensive line coach.
I told you I didn't like Ferris State.
Yeah, but we'll get a beer jersey from Grand Valley. And we already got one from the Shamrocks.
We did.
God bless them.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the final feature uniform, meaning you get to come out to meet your maker at the pearly gates. You get to run out of the tunnel wearing one uniform. What uniform are you wearing before God and all his blessed children?
I think I would wear the Wayne State University
The green and gold of old Wayne State flies over the field today. Our hearts are light, and with our might the victory is on its way. The team is strong, for all will cheer. Wayne State will march along, and in the end our voices blend in Wayne State's victory song.
I believe it's still the same song. Very nice. Very nice.
So you would wear the green and gold of old Wayne State.
Just out of loyalty. I mean,
With
Wayne State was really good for me.
With the clean dome gold or with the old sticker that we put the W,
I like
the flying
sticker.
W?
I like the sticker.
You're a flying W, man?
No. I want a tartar.
Oh, you want the tartar sticker.
I want the tartar, yes.
Not the flying W.
Nah, not so much.
Oh, my goodness.
God, I can't remember. Did we have anything or were they just gold? They were just gold.
We had the gold helmet and we had the sticker.
Yeah, we had the sticker too for a while.
We had the W sticker and we had the...
We had the tartar sticker for a while,
didn't we put those on the back? Weren't they the little ones?
Was that what it was?
I think so.
Okay.
If I had the... I'm assuming you're asking me what I would wear.
Well, sure.
Before my maker.
Don't say Orchard Lake St. Mary.
On Judgment Day.
Okay.
You hit the stars.
Don't say
the
Orchard
stars
Lake.
and bars of Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
People
don't remember.
And I don't want to hear the song.
People do not remember that Orchard Lake St. Mary's, before the Gonzalez era, the black and red was non-existent. We were red, white, and blue, and we wore stars and bars.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was like the American
Looked
flag.
Like the Patriots.
You were
the Patriots.
You were playing against the American flag.
Wow.
But to your point, if I had to run out of and the last uniform I'm going to wear, it would be the Detroit Tigers home whites.
Really?
Yes.
On you?
That old English D.
On you?
Yes. I got to wear the old time one in Billy Crystal's movie 61 when I played the Tigers catcher, Dick Brown, and wearing that uniform was probably the greatest couple of weeks of my life.
Do you watch that film?
Yeah, when it comes on HBO.
Is your face on it?
Yeah, sure. I don't have any lines. I actually said a couple of lines, but they're all cut.
Cut.
It's me, like you'll see me like pulling the mask off and saying, motioning my head to Mickey Mantle, which was Thomas Jane, or Barry Pepper, who was Roger Maris.
Okay.
So yeah,
okay.
I would wear.
I remember I watched it a little bit.
I would wear the old English.
What year was that? When you shot that?
2001.
Okay. Late 90s.
Early 2000s. Yeah. So that's it. You're going to go with Wayne State's green and gold.
I am.
I'm going out with the Detroit Tigers Old English D. We're both playing the hometown card. Those are the GOAT uniform lists. We're going to post uniforms on the website. It's GOATQuest.com. Remember, we've got new sponsors coming up. Downtown Poorhouse in Plymouth, Michigan. We're going to wrap all these sponsors up for you. You're going to hear them when we go on location. But until then, we want you always to be the GOAT at whatever it is that you're doing today.